Welcome everyone to another podcast of Ladies of Injustice. I am Gina Kenny, your host.
Cleveland co-host, wife of Alfred Cleveland, who is not yet exonerated from the work in the United States. I want to thank each one, everyone of you ladies for participating today. I want to thank Donna Myerson and the Myerson Foundation for supporting this podcast today, and Ohio Innocence Project.
So I think there was one to introduce ourselves, right? Okay. So my name is Sarah and I'm the partner of Christopher Miller, number 27 in Ohio, exonerated, wrongfully convicted. And we've been together for 6 years. I knew him prior to this complete ordeal, but yeah.
Yes, I'm Sam Laviston. I'm Marty Laviston mom. He was number 40, and I was with him from the beginning to the end. I'm just so happy to know him now.
Hello, I am Leslie Levingston. I am Marty Levingston's wife. I was not with him the entire time, but I did know him previously before he went to prison. And we definitely did communicate throughout his incarceration, and then we were married roughly about 30 days or so after he was released. So I'm very happy that he is home. He was never 40.
My name is Jeanette Horton. I'm the wife of Richard Horton, and we've been together since before he was incarcerated. I'm so happily married.
I am Rob Weir. I am the partner of Charles J. Jackson, aka Weekend.
Yes, I'm Charmaine Willis, partner.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming today. It is definitely a joy and a pleasure to have us all at the table and without our men. Right? I mean, I'm still without mine. Just to piggyback from them, I am Gina Kenny, the wife of Peter Kenny, who is unfortunately still incarcerated for 24 years, but eventually I will be a wife of an exoneree or a partner of an exoneree someday too. So it's always a pleasure to be able to have these moments together, whether it's with or without our partners. But this day today is extremely special to me because this is something that hasn't really been talked about without them sitting with us. So today, we do understand that some were obviously with the whole time, some kind of got back together and started intermingling during and then after. So some of these questions may not fit you, so whatever you feel comfortable with, please raise your hand and answer them accordingly. And today, the first question we have is going to be, we're taking you back to the day that it happened. So, how did you feel? How did you react? Did you believe it to be true? Bring out some of those emotions you felt. Go to Mama.
When it happened, they came to our house to wake us up after in the morning this morning. I came to the door and opened it. And they went to the house, they grabbed my kids and grandkids. I'm telling them, he's not here. Where's y'all here for? They said, a traffic ticket. Not like this. I mean, it had the whole street blocked up. I was so embarrassed from the neighbors. We never had nothing like that going on. I mean, it was all over the place in the back. Yeah, it was pulling back, it was back there in the car. It was everywhere. They were snatching my sons out of bed. I haven't even got him up to school yet. I mean, it crushed me. And then when I said, I'll turn them in. I'm gonna get him a lawyer and turn him in. So I got in touch with him, said, how earnestly, and I said, look, there's something going on, there's issue going on, I really need you. I need you to turn my son because I don't want him to kill me. And because the buddy came to my house, I knew it was something serious, you know. So I got in touch with Marty, I said, look, come home. I said, I'm gonna turn you in, I'm going to go somewhere safe, and I'm gonna come get you with the lawyer, and they're gonna turn you in. But that didn't happen. They went to every house. My daughter's houses, his baby mama house, they went everywhere. And so he was at my oldest daughter's house. And he was on the phone with me. I said, on speaker. I said, open the door, tell me where your hand is on the right, on the door now, you can open it. Hold your hand up, tell me you surrender. They snatched him, they threw him on the ground, the daughter screaming, the grandkids screaming, they, tore her house up. Looking for a gun that he never had. I've had this. It was awful. It was terrible, you know, so we fought, and then, you know, he never was there, so we got really worried about it. How they gonna offer him 6 years, 2 years credit, and give him for homicide? So you know he wasn't there, he didn't do it. So how did he do that for something he didn't do? Do you go ahead and take that time? And I don't know anything about no murder cases, so I don't know what information to give him, but the lawyer said, well, it can go either way, more. So he let his co-defendant go first. He went first. He said he wasn't going to get it over with. He was tired of sitting in the justice center, so he said he was going to go first. I said, Mom, I know I didn't do it. I said, well, I think you got to let the co-defendant go first. We need to see this play out, you know. But he went first, and that's how it went. And they had sentenced him 31 to life. And he just knew for sure he was going to stay there. He said, Mom, I'm never going to get out. I said, this is going to keep working. I'm going to keep working and keep going with the Innocence Project. We're going to keep doing it. And you coming home. Because my worst spirit was being dead, that a lot of health issues. And I didn't want him, he lost so many of my mom, his dad, my only brother. You know, he went home and none of that. So, and he didn't deserve any of this, but he was never there. He never left the house. And I'm telling you that, they never took us on the stand. Then for my mom, they said she was too old to get on the stand. She was in her 70s. They said I couldn't understand because I'm his mother, and they said parents will lie for their children and stuff. They didn't do that.
Traumatizing, and that's what we want to kind of bring out to the public, is that it's not just the individual that experiences this type of trauma. It's the whole family, everyone. So thank you for sharing that. Definitely appreciate it. Anyone else want to speak on the day that it happened?
So when this happened to Richard, had been dating for like 6 months, and he had to go to court for something with his daughter. And in court, they said that he had a warrant. And of course, you know, the beginning, you're just like, okay, well, these are super naive to the fact that this actually happened to somebody for something that they didn't do. So it kind of hit us differently. We got a lawyer, we did what we were supposed to do to try to fight it, but we were kind of like, well, he didn't do it, so this is going to be super easy. You can just, you know, get a lawyer, go to court, and it really didn't hit us until trial, and that was ended up happening a good year after it had happened, a good year and a half after it happened, and that's when it started really affecting me, like the depression. It really started making me really sick. And it was really, really hard just being there in the courtroom, because we had a whole week of the trials for a whole week. And we just were like, oh, you know, nothing's gonna, still kind of have that, you know, expectation, right? Like, you know, because we had 2 paid lawyers, and it was just, you know, it hit that day in the courtroom. I remember they had my dad had to carry me out. It was really, really hard. I lost it. Either at the time, he had gotten married, so we only been married for 6 months.
Sorry, I'm a crybaby. I'm already still. I'm glad that you also spoke on being naive to the situation, which I feel like is the ignorance to a lot of us, is that we truly believed at some point in time that our justice center, or the justice system did exactly what they were supposed to do. And it's going to stank in the face, I believe, for all of us to find out that that's not what's happening. And there are a lot of wrongful convictions. It opened up my eyes a lot too when I started investigating my husband's case too. Did you want to speak?
With Carl, he was home alone. I was taking kids. She was still Sister Karen, Carl, he was home alone. I think it's big, like, don't turn up around. And house was kids with Carl. And see them with the room and the detail how to go put them up the house. So kids was traumatized. in the house. I remember the day I was saying, okay, so this was not, like he said, she said, where is the hell? I'm so, like I really should have thought, okay, because we got to tell, I mean, but I think those I can do, they don't have no evidence, you don't know, okay, you come home, like, I'm you. The day that they said it, her just looks her just, because that was me, I was my best. You know, we still have to deal with that, like I did. But I first, and my kids, that's the, and they still go through it. Years. What should you get the help? But I believe not. Somebody on the told me, and that day, so we just stand firm, but the system will keep, okay, you just do what you want to do with us, like, we're, so, it keeps going.
Tearjerker. Like I said, you just never know the emotion that may bring out of someone. This is an open, safe space. I know we're live, but no one over that way should be judging, period. Roberta, you want to go with the next question?
Well, yeah, all that, because it brought so many memories back for me. But I was actually given the privilege to know that he was on the road. When they did finally incarcerate, I recall I was single for a while. But for some reason, I was crying, I laid it on my heart. You know, I couldn't shake it. Every moment, all up here to understand. So I called his friend. And I'm like, can I stop crying? Something must be wrong with him. Not right. He's like, "You just got arrested." Like the day that it started for me. You know, and it was just so crazy that, you know, I was so emotional. And from that point on, I was a bit when I'm going to, I didn't stand the trial. So I made sure his family would go to the trial. And the trial is set for everything. Just, yes, without that, and that's why you will start investigating what my kids are. So, it's oh, I think I'm saying, how to be incarcerated. These guys are this crime. But everybody in this little town was saying,
And really quick, before we move to the next set of questions, I would like to go around really quick and, again, introduce your loved one and what he faced, the charges he was convicted of, and how long he was sentenced, and how long he spent on. Really quick, just to touch on that.
He was sentenced to 30 months to life. They brought him back, and the judge apologized and said, well, we can't convict you for murder and violence assault, so we're gonna take 8 years off. So I'm still just like, oh, what happened? You got there and home us, how did this happen? I was in shock when they said they were not, I don't know, I still just still. He turned around, Mom, I'm all right, Mom, I'm all right. I stayed in front for a whole hour, I didn't get up, I was froze. I just froze.
Chris?
So, Chris Miller, again, number 27, in the state of Ohio, free, wrongfully convicted.
I did want to kind of backtrack a little bit. I wasn't with Chris when he went through this ordeal of the wrongful conviction, but I was living in Atlanta. I was married and everything, but I remember seeing him on the news and them saying what he was convicted for. So they were trying to say that he had raped, he went to Cleveland and raped a woman with two other people. There was no DNA. He was never there. Don't even know these people at all. So he bought a phone the next day after it happened and just got wrapped up into it. People just, so it's a different perspective because I knew Chris when I was 13 years old. We went to junior high school together. He's my boyfriend. But Chris ain't never gonna touch no woman. He's, you know what I'm saying? That's just not him. So me seeing that on the news, it was never a question in my mind. You know, the heck is going on? So
I kind of feel the same way because, I remember seeing Marty in London, or just hearing about it in my community, even though we weren't together at the time. I always knew that he was innocent, and the whole city knew that he was innocent. So I really didn't think too much of it because I just thought, oh, it could never happen that they convict him of a crime. So when I did find out that he was actually convicted, I wasn't even around for the court or anything like that. Aware, but I just assumed that it didn't go anywhere. So when I really found out that he actually went away to prison for it, I was shocked completely, especially because the whole city knew that he was innocent. But I always knew he was gonna get out because I always knew that we were gonna get married from day one. So just having faith, I think, kept me through it, and I always knew that God was there.
And real quick, what was he charged with and how was, I think mom hit on how
Mom
long,
already
and how
told me.
long did he serve?
15 years.
can I go back to
Go
my
ahead, yeah.
part? Chris was, he had 70 plus years and he did 17, he did about 20 years. 17 years on the wrongful conviction side.
Jeanette?
Once again, my husband is Richard Horton. He was convicted of armed robbery and he was sentenced to 23 years.
My partner, Charles Jackson, aka Weekend, was given 30 years to life for aggravated murder and attempted murder. He did 27 and a half years.
Carl Willis, he did 23 years, murder.
Do you remember how long he was convicted for? How long? Life sentence.
It's almost like they still have a license.
It is still life sentence.
Yeah, because my husband, I know, is still fighting. Even though he was released, he was not exonerated. So he was forced to sign a guard. So he's still going to continue to fight forever. And so he's completely good.
And that's a whole nother subject, is Dunbar, please.
He did actually 26 and a half, but he had to go back. So it actually ended up 27. For aggravated murder. And it's just funny because they knew he wasn't even in the state when it happened. They had records showing that he was in New York. They had no airline records, no time, they couldn't travel. It wasn't enough time to travel or drive from here. And he still created only one eyewitness who went in the court saying that he lied for reward money. They incarcerated the witness, telling him if he didn't tell the story, they was gonna put the murder on him. So it's just unbelievable what they get away with.
I just want to say, I feel your guys' pain. I was there during the trial. I was there during for a little bit in the beginning when my life came back into his life in 2015. It's been quite the rodeo. And even though I hear these stories over and over and over, I can't help but cry, even though I experienced the same thing. Even though we all kind of go through similar situations, the cases sound the same, everything we experience sounds the same. We all handle it differently, you know, so it's an amazing experience to be able here to sit and talk about it together and bring it out to the public, because there's so many more of us out there that don't realize that this support system, it's here. You just have to reach out for it. And then the next set of questions, Roberta, touching on the impact on the relationship, if you wanted to throw those out.
We all know how it is being this happiness. How would you say it has impacted your life, your kids' life, being in this relationship?
Now, you can speak on how the impact of wrongful conviction has impacted your relationship today. Because he's still going through something, right?
So when Chris went to prison, his oldest daughter was 85, and his younger son was even younger, and then he had a little baby that was in the tummy of his second baby. He has two baby mamas. We don't talk straight. So he had two baby mamas. The youngest daughter, she was in her mother's stomach, Nikki's stomach, and she was actually in jail when she had her. So this, Chris don't talk about too much. So, but oh God, on so many levels, man, like he just have a hard time just even having regular conversations, like with his daughters and stuff. Like, he always tell me in prison everything is kind of on 100 when it comes to testosterone and stuff. So he always say, I don't really know how to, be too gentle with the girls, so I ain't gonna say too much to the girls. And it just kind of impacts in so many ways. He had grandchildren as soon as he got out. He got 3 kids. He had 3 grandchildren right away. Now he got 6. And he's still trying to, and I'm hoping I'm speaking properly for him. And I'm saying that in much respect. I ain't trying to act like I know. Based on our conversations, and I'm with this man every day. Everything. And it's a lot. It's a lot for him. Just everyday, regular stuff, trying to get a routine with his children. For me, I feel like I done had a good life. I don't know. For me, it's hard, but it's alright. Like, I can't even compare. Oh, I don't even really have a major thought process about myself so much. Because to me, that is just super freaking a lot. I can't try to compare anything that I done been through, or what I'm saying, my emotions fleeting. I can switch it up. I'm good. But I gotta take care of me. I'm not trying to act like that. But I just feel like for me, what him and his children and grandchildren is experiencing, I ain't never be such enough to act like I need to be vulnerable. Because I don't. And you have to be that type of woman.
Exactly.
Dealing in this. This ain't for the faint. Don't listen to nobody else on how they handle things with their kids and their families and stuff. You got to work your relationship based on that. So how I handle that with the family and stuff like that and the kids, seeing him, I feel like my stuff is very minor. considerate. And so I just try to weigh things in my emotions. And then when it gets too much, I just get out. I disappear.
You're right.
I disappear. I'll be back. I'll be back. You know I'll be back. But I disappear. Because I need to go take care of me. Because it's a lot. Because don't nobody care about how you feel. Their kids don't care about how I feel. Their kids don't care about how I feel. So at the end of the day, I gotta take care of me that way. But it's a small thing to a giant. To me, a giant.
Um, well, how has everything affected me and my children? In our relationship, I would say that it's definitely impacted us a lot. Since the beginning, I remember actually April 8th, when his mother reached out to me in my inbox in order for us to communicate. Marty was trying to reach out to me because my cousin had passed away. And of course, as soon as I seen the message, again, we actually spoke that day. It's April 8th, I'm saying that because that's also the day we got here. April 8th. Every conversation, we were just communicating. I just assumed that it's going to be a regular conversation of us catching up like normal. Because we had did that every so often. Just kind of, just keep everybody informed. I would just explain to him all my problems, would just tell me about everything that was in there. So yeah, after that conversation after April 8th, we just kind of kept in contact the whole entire time. At this particular time, I was actually single. And he was too. And so we just talked and communicated. I was pretty reluctant at first in regards to having him communicate heavily with my children because I needed to know exactly what space he was in along with me, myself. I was kind of in the zone where I was kind of healing. So speaking to Marty as a friend has always been great. I can always just talk to him about anything. The conversation then led to us actually potentially being together. So that comfortable conversation turned into many conversations, which turned into everyday speaking. So once we both kind of got on the same page, we then started to communicate with my children. They then got on video chats and phone calls as well. So we kind of slowly acclimated him into our life for the first 2 years while he was still doing the last 2 years. So Marty at that time seemed so confident in what he wanted. He always seemed to have a plan. The whole 15 years, I think all he did was plan what he was going to do when he got out. Because boy, he had it planned to a T, including being married, a wife, whether that would have been me or some other lucky woman, he would have definitely been married. So with him coming home, and us building our relationship with my children, it kind of prepared them to see him when he actually came home. So that was what we were already ready to receive the love. My family has always actually known who Marty was anyway. My mother and his father grew up together. I actually met Marty at my mother's funeral. That was the first time I seen him. So I remember that day when he came home. It was a bit much. I know his whole family was there. Well, at least anybody that could attend, children. And since that day forward, he has been trying to be a man for everyone. He's been trying to, I believe, not necessarily catch up on the time, but catch up on the time. He has basically trying to spread himself in between his children, his mother, his father, his siblings, as well as myself and my kids, my family, his friends. So we've kind of been just transitioning and kind of trying to figure out ways to get back on coming together. Of course, there has been trauma, but there also has been lots of lessons, lots of and it's been good. It's been a rocky road, but I have definitely found support in my mother-in-law first, as well as my sister-in-law and OIP, and the lovely ladies that I've met. So I think that this relationship has basically shown me a lot. It's made me stronger, and as you also said, it's definitely not for the weak. And because I always knew I would marry this man, I kind of prepared myself for the situation. And I think the time that I had to heal myself beforehand also allowed me to be prepared for it. So we're still on our journey, and I can't wait to see what is in store next.
How has wrongful incarceration affected your relationship, whether you want to speak on it before, during, or after?
I have to say, and I think I speak for Richard, because he does things right. The situation affected me, I think, worse than he affected him. If you know Richard, I know Donna can, he's this super positive, just extra positive. And it's real, it's not just fake, that's how he's always been. He's always positive about everything, and I've been the one, it really, really brought me down. Like I'm the one going through all the depression and medication and things like that. And he's always been super supportive of knowing how it affected me from the beginning, which is, it's really helpful because I wasn't the one that was incarcerated, he was, but he always made sure that he realizes that it really, really brought me down and it really affected me the way that it did. And it took a lot away from me, took a lot away from us. And as far as like children, he has two kids who are adults now, but 26 and 24. And I've always had a really good relationship with them, and it hasn't, it never negatively affected our relationship. I think we all have a really good relationship together as our own family, which is great because it could have went the other way. But we, while he was incarcerated, we made sure that he kept him. He was always with his children, so that made it better, you know. And he has two big mamas. But I had really good relationships with them, so it was always easy for us to, you know, stay in touch and keep in touch with the children. So, which was amazing because it could have been the other way too, because I'm not their mother. So, you know, I had to have permission to bring them to see Richard, and that always, I always made sure I told them how much I appreciated that. Because like I said, I could have the other way. But we do good. Richard definitely suffers from PTSD, but I also suffer from depression. So we just kind of, we did. It's funny how we could think of it. You know, we both have a lot going on up here, and we just try to keep it positive, and it really works.
It's good to have an understanding partner.
Yeah, exactly. He really sees that it just didn't affect him. And I try to make sure that I tell him. Like I said, he was the one that was incarcerated, not me, but he really takes the time to, like, he really does. I mean, cry. He really is. Really is supportive.
It's amazing.
I would say for me, Charles does not, if he feels like we're telling him what to do, in any kind of way, seriously, I literally just go at it. If he feels like it's like his PTSD is really deep in that, so I do my best to use my communication degree to communicate and articulate. And he wants me to be very direct too. So making a suggestion, if I make a suggestion, I make a thing. If that's what you want to do, just say that's what you want to do. You know what I mean? But I can honestly say, you know, I've been very divorced, all that stuff. I've never felt so safe. Charles is like my protector who makes me feel safe. You know what I mean? And he has such a giving heart that he gives so much that now he's like kind of burdened. And so I get to live for that because I'm a cute young girl that can't go. I'm not being funny, I'm serious, y'all. Like, I mean, you can laugh, but I'm just saying, like, it's a real thing that, you know, as far as how I've been affected, our families have always been mine, so that has kind of caused, like, it's weird because it's like, y'all should want him to be happy. He did 27 and a half years for a crime he did not commit. Y'all should just want him to be happy. He cool. I communicate with him. I put this in. And I tell him, you know, in real life, like almost like a mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs that gentle part. They come home and the world just thrown at them. He wants you to be a dad. The siblings want you to show up. Everybody wants you to be who you was when you was gone 27 years ago. You was a whole different human being now. You don't even know these people. They don't know you. You have to relearn all these relationships. And so we were able to come together at a time in his life when he was ready to get to that part of himself, where he was just starting to settle in and kind of understand. He's been tricked a couple times already. You understand what I'm saying? So now we partners, like, you understand? So as far as it affected me, he's very overprotective. So if he don't want something to happen, I'm not doing it because A, I respect him, but B, I don't want his anxiety to go through the roof. And I'm like a burst, I just bust out, like a burst of energy. You understand what I'm saying? Like my energy is just dominant within itself. So I love the fact that he makes me more feminine, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a man's man. But at the same time, it's still one of those things where I have to be okay with sitting back. And I've actually got comfortable with being behind the scenes and just allow him to lead. So one thing I know for sure is do not make him feel like it's up to him to do. Yes. Serious. Like you got. Okay, I mean that's everybody.
Well, I have a little different though, because he liked to be told what to do. He all right with it. He's like, you know what I'm saying? We need a routine. He like a routine. You know what I'm saying? Understanding the general thing, like, don't tell him you need to go to the doctor. Maybe did you make your doctor appointment? When was the last time you saw your doctor? When is your next appointment? Because we did get away at Kennedy. So I can't be, I just can't say it like, you need to do this. Like, how you gonna remember saying that? Like, you know, you need to go to the doctor. You know, give me your mind chart. Let me, you know what I mean? Like
Well, he doesn't act like that necessarily, like he doesn't like to be dismissed or referred to as if he doesn't know what's going on because he was locked away. So that's where the trigger is for him. He's definitely overprotective. You know, and kind of are similar areas.
I love that. Just you know, very well, yeah. Very proud, very protective. My children, had a lot of anger towards me. You know, constantly telling me to come home. But my girls, they look at me spot. So they had a lot of anger when she came home. Little Neb, she's more like calm, I can talk to. That's every woman. She try to make peace. Charlotte was the oldest one. She's like, no. So she's gradually coming around. Right. That's my guy. There's about 13 or 28. So, what's that? Dion. He's the one. No, that's my father. The grandbabies? Oh, no. Well, you better not say nothing wrong about it. It's going to be a problem. You need my house. You need nothing. Oh, okay. I don't direct you, big. Bye. No. They look, they're like, he's here. That's fine. So, as far as me, I had to, because I was so used to being the provider, the mother, the man, you know, that
that wrong. I had to let go of it. Put on your dress.
Right.
Put your dress shoes on because now you got somebody maybe that's somebody may not care about. And then you know, I'm like, here, you might make the wrong move and hey, make sure this fight not right. Keep my hand off it. Let them know that you the man. They need to sit back. So that's more what I have what I'm doing. I'm gonna do something that was very hard. He's just very strong, loving, always smart, needed to care. He calmed down for a minute. He did come down. What's up, baby? What's up, baby? Yeah, you cool now? Let's sit down. Yeah. Yeah.
We like that.
Like, I could drive. Like, but I drive. I can drive for a minute. Okay, yes, baby. Okay.
I need to know.
We're intentional also about not going to bed, man.
All right. You know, Frank, I don't care how bad the day was, I roll over like, oh, you still mad? And then if you try to leave out and don't give me a kiss, I said, you started with that second said, people that kiss their spouse live long.
They're definitely stuck in their routine. All of them. They want structure, they need routines. I don't even think you have them sleep. Routine. My husband is an energizer bunny. You know, where he gets it from. But he definitely has.
Did you want to touch on your, yes?
And my kids, it's a whole new world where I used to. When I came here to Ohio to support Al in his incarceration, it was really eye opening. Moved here, no family, no friends, and 4 kids, and it really didn't at first feel like it was. Like he's gonna be home soon, you know, because when we decided to be together, we were friends, been friends for 35 years. And, you know, when he decided, you know, to ask me to marry him, he asked our kids first, you know, I was like, yeah, you not me, you know. But he wanted to make sure that he know the relationship with my kids is formed. So that's that. He already knew I was gonna say yes. You're not bold as that, you know. Okay. But it was just, I didn't even really know how deep his case was. You know, everything with my husband has been God led. So I never questioned anything. I just walked right into it. And I knew it because the dreams, vision started dating. And so I never questioned it. But as the case went on, as time went on, I'm like, oh, you know, please go, please bring him home. You know, I never thought it would take so long. My kids were little, between 5 and 10. My son was like actually 18 months when we first met, my youngest son. But when I moved here to Ohio, it was like 5. And grown, he's grown, we had grandkids, we got 17 grandkids now, you know. So by the time he came home, our whole life had been gone, and, you know, grown, we got, you know, grandkids, we had kids in Arizona and all that, so it was a challenge. And I never questioned any of it. It's everybody. If I go, it's so different. So I would say that it's been more challenging at being home because of the roles that we take in our family while they're gone. Being the mom and the dad to the kids and being sole providers and things like that. So that challenge is different because we have to step back and become with them. We haven't allowed them to lead. But that's something that I say to a lot of women who are in relationships, why would you have a man in your life that you're not allowed to leave? A lot of women have problems allowing them to leave. So, I'd say the most challenging part was when he came home and allowed him to take over and just sit back and be quiet. Because Al has this thing where, he likes to figure things out when we come. So like you said, like when, John said, Charles, how he doesn't like to be told what to do. You can mention something and he'll feel like you're telling him what to do, Learn how to seriously be quiet, not say anything. Just let him learn whatever lesson he gotta learn. And it's hard, that's hard. It's over. Yeah, and you can't say that to that kid, like, because that's your man, you wanna give that respect, so that's a real life change. But then exercise. It's like, you're not living just for you now, you're living for all of us, and we go through these situations over and over again that we've already had, so now we gotta live them again. So I think that's my most challenging part of the conservation, the activated back to society.
Thanks for that advice. Now I see everyone. I love it. Just seeing everybody happy. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Just a friendly reminder about the distance from the microphone and the volume of which you're speaking. We just got some inconsistencies. I just want to try and make it a little more consistent, so everything will be the best it can be. But
Don't be afraid of them. You have to
that's
learn
like
for that
the
right
way you're holding is a great distance. That's perfect. Everybody- we were able to hear you still, but we'll probably still have we had to do.
That is me.
But that's the perfect distance. That's the perfect distance. And if you're at that distance, you don't necessarily have to project.
We talked about a lot of trauma. We talked about a lot of emotions and feelings and. We can take a quick break.
But you feel like you're on a roll.
We're good. We only have a couple more questions. We can keep going. Let's just keep going in this and celebrate each other. So we talked about a lot of emotions. We talked about a lot of trauma. We talked about how you felt, how, your feelings on how your hand was when you came home. I will say that not telling them what to do, do you blame them after having to listen to COs for?
But it's not that you're trying to tell them. Yeah, that's not the problem. You're not trying to tell them. You're just making a suggestion or you might be just making a statement.
Did you make your doctor's appointment?
Yeah, and they don't feel like you're telling them what to do. That's that mentality from the CO. They all.
Are you? They really don't. The reality is they're trying to figure this thing out, right? I respect what everybody's saying about letting them lead and things like that. They don't. I want to be as eloquent as possible. And they've been gone for 30 years, right? They talk to you and understand it based on what you're hearing as people are coming in and out, right? So, you want to be as eloquent as possible and loving on them, but they really do be asking for that help and what to do without feeling like they're being disrespected or belittled or they're dumb, anything like that. So I'm hearing y'all need some real good understanding on making sure there's a difference and a fine line with, knowing that they want that love and they know that we know some things out here, but not doing it in a way where it's not making them feel like we're CO.
The truth is, anybody who, I'm sorry, y'all, the truth is, anybody who had grandparents that stayed together for a long time, know that the woman really ran things, but you gotta pay them feel like they was running it. Right. Okay, baby, you was the leader, you was in charge, but who went to the store and got the fork? When did you go? You know what I'm saying? It's the game to the game. It's that thing, so it's like, it's your approach. It's the approach. I'm telling you that. That's what I'm telling you, like, remember, I do something so simple, because I'm not saying, telling them what to do. It can be something so simple where you're not even thinking like that. Their PTSD can come in at any time. Yeah. You just be sitting there like, hold on, where's it? You know what I mean? And you gotta give them a chance. And Charles, he'll come back and he'll about that. PTSD, you know. I'm like, I know it's okay, but you know one. And sometimes I just have to, if I see them going to 10, I'm just gonna try to come down to 1. I'm not gonna try to match his energy. That's right. I'm trying to match the energy when they get like that because they really can't help that part. They really can't help that part. And it has become a part of who they are. So it's our job as women to be the best in the man or the worst in the man. That's the power we have as a woman. Yes. And so if you want to try to channel the best part of him, if you want the best part of him, now you want to be gangster, then keep matching his energy. Because he's gonna let you know at the end of the day, I'm a man. And that's what they're we talking about the power part. Who you talking to? Don't raise your voice at me and don't talk at me. That's how a man feels. So theirs is intensified because they've been around nothing but men and testosterone for all this time. You understand what I'm saying? Pay attention to how they talk when they get amongst each other. You know, aggressive. You think like them, nothing okay. They just talk. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the environment that they was in. And sometimes their mind will take them right there just for a second. So it's our job to be gentle and delicate. And that's why I say I love to see it or delicate because that's a comfort. That's a comfort. You understand? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And then it's just a person. And my kids, they like my kids, they love Charles. So I appreciate that. And so I automatically embrace the children too. They grow from a couple years younger than me. And a couple years older than me. Unfortunately, I'm able to know them. But I embrace his children because he embraced mine. I don't give him no pushback. They got attitude whenever I try to be a bridge because he made sure my kid was safe. So who am I to come in and be like, oh, they got attitude? No, she got trauma. She got serious trauma. She ain't had no daddy for 27 years. Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? Now you see your daddy happy or whatever, living his life. It's like, you know, especially with my children. You understand what I'm saying? Because my kids are little. He doing things with my kids and he didn't get the chance to do it. I understand that. And be able to articulate and communicate that with his children. And it's a natural feeling for her. She might feel it. You understand what I'm saying? And it's okay. But how we gonna get past it from this point? You understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot of levels, a lot of things that go into it. But making sure they feel like they are the man and they are the lead is the number one most important thing. And any great grandma's gonna tell you.
No, very true. Because that's something that I struggle with completely as far as learning to allow him to lead. Because I've always been dominant. And Marty is just the king. You know, he calls me queen, and he definitely is the king. But no, and learning my role was something that I'm still learning to do. You know, and learning also too to not match with energy. My mother-in-law tells me that all the time. Sometimes I need to, I forget how she says it, just be calm and not try to match his energy. Right. You know, because sometimes he'll pop off at me, I like that, and that's just me defending what we had to do for so long. But also learning that that's what he's done consistently is something that allows me to kind of, once I calm down too, then I can deal with it. Mm-hmm. So, and he always apologizes to me right after because he's such a gentleman, really. He just wants his voice to be heard, and he wants to not fail. Along with his children, you know, that's been a struggle for them as well too. I never tried to act as if understanding how he feels like, or like you said, they've been without their father for 10 years. That's the reason why I'm struggling to deal with all the trauma or things that can come from them, his siblings or anybody. I couldn't have to push back because I can definitely understand and I can definitely see how it's almost looked at as a threat for me and my children to then receive this new version of him that a lot of people did not get the opportunity to share. All right. So luckily, I am a strong woman how I am, and I also know my space, and I'm not offended by it. And I also, my number one goal is for him to almost receive everything God is. So that includes the love from his children. That includes the love from his mom, his dad, his sisters. I love family. I embrace it. So anytime they want to be around, that's just second nature to me. But I have been, for these last couple of years, watching that battle, right? That all of the children react in a different way. Or even his friends, siblings, even mom, you have felt a way. You understand, everybody lashes out or yearns for him, a part of him that they miss or they need to receive. So I'm just happy to share it with everybody.
Right. That's just one thing that helped me when it came to him, I don't know what you say, is starting that it don't have to be me. It could be a situation that he's going through with someone else, or, you know, as y'all know, Al's super busy, you know, I'm like, okay, well, he might got interrupted, or he might have had something going on here, and it's just coming out right now. But he does come back and apologize. I'm like, I already know. So I stopped taking it personal, and whenever he had power, you know, I got to say, but I ain't gonna say nothing. And it worked. He comes right back and like, I'm like, everything going on, and I'm good. You know, as long as you came back and you realized, you know, I'm good. I don't take it personal. Just let it be. We got to get it over and get it out. I know you don't do anything to harm me, because I know you got to protect me all the time. I know you just got to go with it.
They're hating us.
Just deliver. I learned how to, when I talk about this stuff, now he comes back at me. Okay, I said, delivering, learn how to just talk to them, not come aggressive. Because he is what he is, he can also be aggressive too. So I had to learn to tone my voice, so he'll know that, okay, I'm still listening, you got the floor. So that's what I'm just delivering.
As you go through these journeys, you know that we are always there, everybody around us. And rarely ever ourselves. And I know this, I started trying to take time. You know, I'm still working. You know, but I have to get back to where I have to keep it. But I have started getting my nails done. So I at least, you know, have that time. That's my time to myself. When I go get my nails done, feet done. I even invited him earlier. So then we had pedicure done. We had a couple massage, and that was really not something that we decided to continue to do. What do you ladies do for self-care, and do you invite the guys to, you know, join you?
Well, for me, my husband is a key role into my self-care because he is always advocating for me to make sure that I am doing whatever it is that I want to do. Whether it's for getting my hair done, my nails done, my feet, my eyelashes. I'm talking about, he even calls and books appointments. That is lovely on that. For him, I kind of do the same as well. I always, make sure that he's able to do whatever it is that he wants to do for himself, whether it's get himself a haircut, just introducing him to massages and send him to the spa. We've done that before. Actually, on his birthday, I actually had a masseuse come in and actually give him a personal massage. And also had a private dinner for his family, his siblings, and his children. And so just trying to cater to him and make sure, that he gets the time that he needs, because I feel like I already take my time. I take it on my own because I need it, whether it be just not only for my self-care, but as far as my friends or my siblings, I'll just make sure I still have my time with them just so that I can communicate. Even if it's just calling my girls, even my OIP family, or either, just making sure I have my own outlet outside of him is very important, because even though we are a team, we are both two individuals. So I try to make sure he has whatever it is that he needs to make sure he's okay, and I do the same. And he also supports
Um, self-care, personally.
I was saying that. It's okay, you got a little sister right here, we love you, we're getting there.
The hair is struggle with that outside of Chris anyway, right? But with him and us together, it just brings more, because I just be caring so much about what's going on with him, his kids, and I don't know, y'all. Pray for me, right? Because to me, what these men done went through, nasty, what we talking about? I don't know. Prayer is first.
It's funny you said that, because that was definitely a question that obviously is very important to ask. We do need to check on each other, make sure we all are practicing self-care, but now I asked that question, and I told my little co-host over there, I was supposed to ask a question, I don't even know the definition of, but we went there. I mean, I feel you. I got a lot on my plate too, and it's hard to even find time to be able to walk somewhere, let alone go get my nails done. Yeah. Actually, shout out to the Ohio Innocence Project for giving us a spa day yesterday. I was able to get my toes done. So, yeah, thank you for that. They definitely put that in for us, but it's definitely important. I know Roberta and I both took a mental health first aider class, we're certified in that. And self-care is probably the top priority when it comes to mental health issues. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're so subjected to slip into that, So, maybe we all need to just figure it out together and, meet in Central Ohio and take care of all of ourselves all at once. I don't know. I know we're all in different parts of Ohio, but we definitely, I'll be praying for you, sis. You pray for me. Jim, you want to hit on it?
Yeah, self-care for me is, I get my nails done, just to make sure that I get my nails done and stuff like that, but he also makes sure that sometimes I'll be like, oh, I didn't see my counselor. He's like, yes, you do. You need to make sure you keep, so seeing my counselor, that's also part of my self-care, and he helps me stay on that path. I know I need it, but sometimes it's like, oh, yeah, can't stubborn, nothing all the way. And he always takes a, we call it Man's Day. He does that once a week, which I think is perfect, just to get away from, I don't want to say get away from me, but just like separate himself from me. You know what I mean? To have his own time with his friends. I do the same, but we come together every Friday for date night. And that's our self-care together. So, and it doesn't have to be anything like extravagant. We always switch it up. It could just be not being on our phones and watching a movie at home, or taking the dog for a walk, or just some kind of date night. It always varies on Friday.
It's true. And I did start like, Ricky Jackson, like Clarissa, doing bingo. Yeah. So nobody do the bingo, yeah. I
I started going to bingo as some of my self-care time, just to have fun and good night to myself. My husband came a couple times with me, but I invite her, and it's really nice. And from we going to bingo with Marissa, she only had like once. I started going to bingo, and what's me? I was like, so I did try to find time for myself.
Get an opportunity to lay in the bed and binge watch something, like just to have an off day, just to lay down and literally have my sex, and then that's self-care for me. Because I feel like I constantly have to do something. And that's why I said there's no room for BS. Like, get up, I get some kids ready off to school, I have to attend church, I have to attend to the kids. Gotta make sure the house is together, gotta make sure the laundry is done, kids come home from school, how was your day, what did you eat, blah, 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 gotta feed them, gotta feed the man. You got all these things you gotta do before it's bedtime, and so it's like, there's no room for BS. So my self-care is literally staying away from anything that brings me negative energy. Don't call me talking about nobody. If you won't have a solution to try to fix it, that's family, friends, anybody. When I tell you my phone's not ringing because now I have boundaries. So self-care for me is just boundaries and being able to sit up in the bed and watch TV. If I could just watch a series that has about a good 8 episodes, I don't know when I'm gonna get to do that again. You know what I'm saying? Or if I get to play in the dirt, if I get to play in the dirt, I don't really have dirt, but I'm playing. I go to the cemetery and I'll clean everybody's grave. And when I say clean, I mean I'll dig everything up. I'll put plastic down, I'll put rocks down, make it all pretty. I enjoy that. That type of stuff is therapeutic for me, just because nobody's there. And I know it sounds like a cemetery. Yeah, I got a lot. The people that I love the most is gone. You understand? So those are the things that feel good to me. I still gotta go clean my daddy and my sister's grave before winter time. Because I'm like, I gotta make sure the house is clean for the winter. You know what I mean? And so that's the way I think about it. So those are the type of things I do there for the kids, that have to man. There's really no such thing. You just gotta, I don't think there's such thing. It's because as long as they're good, we're good, right? Because if you can self-care and take care of yourself all day, but if your household ain't together, then is that really self-care? So it's really, if all of them are good, if I can just sit back and Netflix it up.
I got a serious question. I wanted to go visit, and I swear somebody that was cleaning up. Did you clean up Isaiah Andrews' grave?
No, I haven't been afraid to clean up, but I haven't been about afraid. But I will.
I try to get out there at least once a month, but I haven't been up there. But I had to throw that in there. Rest in peace, Isaiah.
Go by the water. Make sure everything, go by the water and make sure everything at home is okay. My Bible. Yeah.
That's for the chaos.
And have no negative, they're
On the schedule. You're not feeling the schedule. You get the amount of disruption it causes to your day when somebody comes with some chaos and foolishness that ain't gonna bring no value to your life. That's why I said, when it comes to that trauma piece, when it comes to the family members, when you get the feeling, whatever, it's like, okay, so what's the solution? How long do you plan on being mad? Because we don't live like that. So what we gonna do?
Solution.
So, I know I had to kind of stop on self-care, just, I know that everybody kind of time more, so. Like, with self-care, Chris, we always try. He a worker. He always gotta have something to do work. So we do a lot of traveling, we spend a lot of time with the family, things of that sort. It's amazing to meet somebody that loves to do everything you love to do. If I want to sit in the house and watch TV, be down for it. We want to walk around, go eat, go drink, go do our medical stuff, whatever. And he's down for it. I would have never thought in my whole life. I've been married, I have my son, he's in college here at university. Everything be real good, y'all, like, for real. At the end of the day, you gotta do what works for your relationship. You know your man, you know his quirks, you know what he cool with, you know what he not cool with, you know what I'm saying? And just enjoy this thing, because for real, we are a small amount of people that are, you know, they're able to be even compensated for something, right? So there's a lot of men who are out here, and, you know, they might have did whatever they did, and they're trying to figure the same thing we talking about, how all these perks and the way the CEOs treated them, talked to them bad. So imagine not having the means that our men may have, trying to deal with these men that don't have, they trying to figure it out. So let's reach back. That's my whole point. I want us to reach back to the men that don't have no compensation, their family was affected in some kind of way, and they're still being affected. They're not getting treatment. They're not seeing counselors, beating up their girlfriends and killing their wives and stuff because they don't know how to handle this thing, because they don't have the women sitting here who have a little experience and can give them a little shoulder and love on them, right? Ain't nobody trying to love on them guys. So I would hope that we would reach back.
Can I just say one last thing, because I know I'm moving on. I just want to say, sitting amongst you women, every last one of these men, they are very lucky, because this conversation was supposed to be about us. No matter what we talked about, we still found a way to bring our partner down. We're gonna always carry them, and we're gonna lift them up, and we're cheerleaders no matter what. It didn't have nothing to do with them. We hear on account of them, but it was about us. But we all still had to bring our partners into it, which shows how we are connected to our partners, you know? So I just want, I was just like, give myself a pat on the back. These are real women up in here, like, I really enjoyed it.
We do have a little bit of a small audience. Is there anyone out there that has any questions? I'm gonna walk off stage and ask someone. Walk around our big audience. So here first.
I don't have a question, but I wanted to.
Thank you.
To you, not to submissiveness, but an acknowledgement of your queendom mentality. Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We got another question over here.
Okay, I'm down too. What strikes me, not a question, but what strikes me, because I love all of your men, is first that they're very loving men. Yeah. But the love in this room for those men is beyond. And your ability to bend yourselves to meet their needs is amazing to me. And it really underscores for me why it's so important for you to take care of yourselves, because it ain't easy. Bend so much, and you do so much bending. So I appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Nana.
And that's what I was saying, you know, she's like, you know, a lot of you don't really, they feel like they don't really need to talk here. They're gonna get there. I can say, you know, I want to say, and as you grow and mature, and you do so many things, so many other people in your life along, and then you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna qualify for that self-care, and you're gonna demand it, you're gonna need it, it's gonna be priority in your life. You know, I mean, you know, when we young, we all out there, we making sure everybody else. But it gets to a point where you're gonna need to make sure you're okay.
I wanted to touch on one last thing in regards to self-care that I felt like has been important for me and Marty, as well as our family. And everyone, is our faith in God. Attending church on Sunday and whatever day and however else we can, be there in the forefront, we are. Just having our faith in God and being able to communicate with us and other like-minded individuals definitely helps. And it's almost like a restart every week. You know, once we go to service, it seems like God is always talking to us right there. He's sitting in front. It kind of tunes up any problem we have. It kind of gives us the tools that we need. We actually attend Christ Emmanuel Church, so if anyone would like to visit, please come. But we get the tools that we need every Sunday in order to carry it. So, out of all of the kids enjoy, that's the first and foremost that I need.
Totally agree about going to church, being in church, that's the main thing God in your life. But also, self-care, we also have to look at, like, we need them for ourselves. Because like, we're not taking care of ourselves, we're really trying to take care of everybody else. Our mental be right, if we're not taking care of ourselves first. So at all times, we have to look at that. It's not about cleaning up and getting close to us. That's stuff what we raised to do, to want. Keep the kids together. Also, we got to also look at stuff like, if we not mentally together, if we could be doing all this little stuff, we got to get it together. True. Yeah. Because you got to get it together. So true to keep it healed, to heal and help anyone else. And he walks a lot with that.
Right. God is very important, right? We bring it everywhere, everything, no matter, I don't care if we eat hot dog. That's right.
Okay, I want to thank everyone seriously for joining us today for this podcast recording. Man, I got tip chills, I got tears. I'm gonna have to take this 4-hour drive and debrief this whole conversation. It's just crazy because I'm not even, my husband's not free yet. Like, I admire every single one of you and the strength that you guys carry every day. I know him coming home is not gonna be easy. I just thank God that I've built a network where we can reach back out and touch others that have experienced it. When my husband comes home, best believe I'll be pushing them to your guys' men and trying to figure this stuff out together. I'm not quite there yet. We all have this fairy tale of maybe once they're home, and we know that it's not there. That's not what happens. There's a lot to deal with when they come home. It just doesn't stop when they're exonerated. So I just want to say that I tip my hat to every single one of you guys for waking up every day and continuing to love your man, period. But as we've talked about, we have to love ourselves first, and we do forget about it because they have been through this injustice. As Charmaine said, if we're not good to ourselves, how can we be truly good to them? So thank you for opening up and sharing your stories. There will be plenty more opportunity to dig in a little more soon. And to my girl Roberta, it's always a pleasure. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, and thank you for what you do on this podcast. We originally were going to start this podcast in July. We did our first episode, my kids get started. We did, got a call from, we was going to play, Voices of Injustice.
Which became the Shimanga, and the little Shimanga.
And we very sad last night for class. I said, hey, well, how about talk to the podcast there? And I was like, oh yeah, I think this was the perfect opportunity to have this podcast start off with all of the ladies that we're here for, but ladies of the justice about, so I think this is the perfect right here today to start off the podcast.
Yeah, we've spoke. This isn't about Roberta and I. I mean, this is a vision we've had for years. So I'm extremely grateful and thankful that we're going to get this. We're going to be perfect by the beginning of the year. But this has nothing to do with just Roberta and I. We are definitely looking for other hosts, guests, whatever. you all are ladies of injustice, we are ladies of injustice. This podcast is about what we've experienced, what we've went through, our children. There's gonna talk about maybe a kids podcast. This is beginning our movement, right? Shout out to the guys, Voices of Injustice. They've got this powerful play, The Lynched Among Us. If it's in your city or anywhere near you, please go see it. But it's definitely long overdue for us women to have our own separate movement to kind of reach that out to the women who may not know that there's a whole support group out there, right? I know when I first came into the picture, I had Amy Saylor. Shout out to Amy Saylor. She was my biggest inspiration. I always knew that her Wells lawyer was gonna be the one to bring my husband home. I started to mock Amy and the way she fought for her husband, did the same for mine, introduced wrongful conviction day rallies, and literally every year things have grown, and just looking back on, how far it's grown since I first stepped into the movement. Like, it's crazy the support that's coming together for our own community. So thanks again for coming. I appreciate everyone's nervousness to be at bay, so they were able to speak and talk and get what was on their minds and their hearts out there. Like I said, this is not the last time. It is the first time, and I look forward to having more conversations together.
And I know you already do this. Right there. People told us a little great stuff, I didn't know. And he was like, and I started talking to him, he's like, oh, you choosing to love me? I was like, yeah, that's my key. Point I always make with him. I always choose to love me, and love me.
Really organic moment, right? But somebody, and it definitely got picked up on these microphones. We could just rerun that part after we. Might be somebody who pick one up.
They got an hour and a half. We still got it. We still have to finish. Those on live, we apologize. We had some interruptions coming backstage. Come on stage. This is one of the exonerees. You don't want to walk out and. All right, Roberta, hit that back on your.
What we're going through, I choose love over the argument, over any, type of situation might be at hand. So when on the way down here, he was saying, look, we're going something a little crazy, look at me. And I started smiling at him. He's like, you choosing to love me? And I'm like, yeah. I thought that's something all you ladies do. And we'll continue to do so. Choose love over everything. Thank you, Roberta.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in to the Ladies of Injustice. Again, big thanks to our amazing guests. Shout out to Donna Meyerson and her foundation, as well as Ohio Innocence Project, for partnering with us today to make this happen. And are we allowed to name the studio? Element Studio for having us and hosting us today. You guys.